Hey everyone, this is Tomas Franzese, news editor over at DualShockers.com, and today I'm here with a preview of The Surge 2 from Deck 13 and Focus Home Interactive. While The Surge was a bit divisive within the Souls-like community, I liked it due to its unique sci-fi setting and limb targeting mechanics. That being said, there was definitely room for improvement with a sequel, so I was highly optimistic upon learning about The Surge 2. Recently, I was able to get my hands on a beefy 4-hour demo of the game where I explored its first 3 areas and got a feeling for the improved combat. While The Surge 2 is very much in line with the original, that's not a bad thing. Outside of the occasionally frustrating camera, The Surge 2 proved to be a welcome improvement to the original in many ways and seems to have made many of the right adjustments to make the opening areas of the game much more enjoyable. Over the course of my lengthy demo, I explored 3 different areas: Gideon's Rock, downtown Jericho City, and Port Nixon. Each area felt much more varied and visually distinct than those in the original Surge, which bodes well for this lengthy sequel and improves on one of the biggest flaws of The Surge. Before I explored, though, I had to create my own character. While The Surge stuck players in the shoes of the fairly bland Warren, The Surge 2 opens up with a customizable main character. Not only can their looks be adjusted, but their backstory as well. The main character has to end up in a Jericho City prison in some way following a plane crash, and this backstory explains why exactly they were on their plane. While the story in the first couple hours didn't really pull from these backstories at all, I am hoping that is something later parts of the game do. While The Surge 2 storytelling is still a bit vague and environmental like many Souls-likes, the story is a bit more in the forefront this time around, with different quests characters will give you and a more traditional dialogue system. Jericho City and the surrounding areas do seem to have a lot more personality than the Surge's Creo facility. As for the gameplay, the Surge 2 is fairly similar to the original but tweaks things to make the game that much more smoother. Attacking, blocking, dodging, and limb targeting are all in line with the first game and are strengthened by the wide variety of weapons. From heavy two-handed pieces of metal to dual-wielded defibrillators, the Surge 2 gave me quite a few options in how I wanted to play in just the first few hours. Animations feel more varied than the original as well, so that kept things fresh while I constantly switched weapons. As players have come to expect from the Surge games, the player can target limbs and cut them off when enough battery life is built up. Doing so is also necessary to get the schematics and parts to build new augments for the playable character, and frankly, killing the enemies looks pretty badass every time. Like the original, the limb targeting mechanics really help the Surge 2 stand out and stay fresh with every encounter. It also increases the strategy involved in any given fight, as you may want to target a specific area of an enemy in order to get the required materials you need to upgrade your character. The drone is also pretty easy to use in the Surge 2 and has a variety of different modifications. It can shoot bullets, lay mines, or even tag the ground in a Dark Souls style messaging system for other players. With the smoother animations and faster drone with a lot of variations, I'm already enjoying the Surge 2's combat much more than the first games, and I can't wait to see where the developers take it later on in the game. The demo I played had a boss fight at the end that was much different than the usual humanoid enemies I had been fighting for the first couple hours, so there is the potential for more unique encounters there, and I hope they capitalize on that. During my time with the first 4 hours of the Surge 2, there was only one real major recurring issue: the camera. While you may not be able to tell from this footage, it would occasionally get in the way of my actions. Port Nixon in particular and that aforementioned boss fight were 2 of the worst points because enemies were either fast moving in tight areas or the camera just wasn't focusing on the right thing, so I took unnecessary damage. For a game that is otherwise difficult but fair, these camera issues were frustrating, and they are the one thing I hope the developers improve before the Surge 2 launches. Other than the camera, the Surge 2 feels like a refined version of the original in all the right ways. Combat is smoother, and the story seems to be more interesting, with both an end times cult and a mysterious little girl being the focus of the early game story. Gideon's Rock, Jericho City, and Port Nixon all had distinct styles and were fun to explore too, which is a noticeable step up from the original game. While Dark Souls 2 is considered the black sheep of its series, the Surge 2 may turn out to be the superior title in the sci-fi Souls-like franchise. The Surge 2 from Deck 13 and Focus Home Interactive releases for PC, PS4, and Xbox One on September 24th, 2019. You can check out the full written preview of the game on DualShockers, and also be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest news, trailers, and more content like this.